Hey folks, it's Osak again. I'm coming to you again on the 30th of December 2024. Almost to 2025. Pretty hard to believe, isn't it? And so Happy New Year's ahead of time. And as you are well aware, because you clicked on the video, this video is about the Taurus G3C, chambered in, as you can see there, 40 Smith & Wesson. And this is clear, by the way. Clear, always clear. Got to make them safe. And I'm sure a lot of you are already aware, probably seen other videos on this, but this is a polymer frame made in the Glock style, if you will. Very similar to function to a Glock. Matter of fact, it takes down the same way as your Glock pistols. And of course, it's got a high-tech polymer frame, and the slide is, as you can see here, stainless steel for this version. I actually do have a blackened version, same thing in 9mm, and that pistol has been 100% right out of the box for me, and it shoots like a dream, and is a great pistol. I do highly recommend these to you. If you're needing a defensive pistol, a carry pistol, a house gun, a pistol for your truck, whatever the case may be. If you're a prepper and you need to, get something economical, this is a great choice for you, in my opinion. Okay, so this one is basically a 10-round magazine-fed autoloader. All right. And again, chambered in the 40 Smith & Wesson. It comes with 3 magazines, and I'd get the box out and show you all this, but I'm sure you've probably seen, if you're interested in this, you've probably seen other unboxing videos. This is just more of a general review, and also to let you know my experiences at the range with it. And it does have fixed sights, as you can see. And see if I can get those lined up for you. There you go. It's got a white dot front sight and a black rear sight with serrations to cut the glare. Good sights as far as I'm concerned, especially for the purpose, which in my estimation is a self-defense carry gun, okay, or house gun. It does come with the light. You have to get a micro light if you're going to use that, or a laser, or whatever attachment. It does have an attachment here with a single slot. So it is a little limited on what you can put on there. Like I have a full-size Glock tack light, and it won't snap on. It'll fit on, but it doesn't snap in place. So if you were to shoot it with that on there, it would probably fly off. Especially in the 40 Smith & Wesson. But I really like this. Again, it has 3 magazines. It comes, of course, with the bicycle lock in the owner's manual, and the other paperwork that you typically get with firearms. This one's shown as being from Bainbridge, Georgia. Okay, and marked Taurus, of course. And I think these might actually be made in. It says made in Brazil, so this is more likely made in Brazil. All right, and my experience with Taurus firearms has been very, very positive. I have had in the past a few difficulties, and when I first got in Texas, when they first passed the carry permit laws, and you had to go to the first class I went to, and this is a long time ago, I remember it was right at the time when Taurus had introduced the Millennium, and in 9mm, and I think there was probably 5 people on the shooting line where we were, basically qualifying, that had these pistols, and every last one of the darn things was jamming up. I remember that distinctly. And I vowed to myself at that point, I will never buy a polymer Taurus firearm. Of course, that was a long time ago, and they've made a lot of adjustments and improvements and everything, and the quality of these G3 products is outstanding as far as I'm concerned. You're talking about a pistol here. I got this for $240, and they have a $25 rebate going on it. So you're looking at like a two and a quarter. It's hard to beat that. And it's got a stainless steel barrel. I can't remember the length of the barrel here. I think it's a 3-inch barrel, if I remember correctly. Maybe just slightly over. Or no, I'm sorry, they go from here. 1, 2, yeah, it's about 3 inches. So, you know, you do sacrifice a little velocity shooting it out of this puppy, but the benefit, of course, is that it carries really well, conceals really well. I've got a holster here from our friends at, forget the name. We the People. That's it. How can I forget that? We the People holsters, and they send me texts regularly, so I should know their name. And this one's actually for a full-size G3, but it also fits the G3C. As you can see here, it fits really well. And it is a bit long if you look at it. But, I mean, if I wanted to, I could cut it off, but I'm just not going to do that. So, this works just fine. And there's a lot of different holsters and accessories and things like that available for these. Aftermarket sights, these are your standard dovetail for like a Glock sight. So if you wanted to replace these sights, you could do so very easily. Lots of choices. And anyway, I really like it. It's again clear. Okay. It's a double action only, I guess you could say, or a Glock type action. It does have the little safety dingus here. It also has a manual safety. If you choose to use that, you don't have to use it. Okay, a lot of people like to just leave that alone, and they actually make these without the double or without the safety, the manual safety, if you prefer that, if you can find them. But it's a typical like Glock type trigger, brakes, and then the reset on it is very short. Right there, boom. And then let's say that for some reason your round doesn't go off. One of the nice things about this, now a lot of people will argue and say it's really not a big deal, that they would tap, rack, and bang, right? That go through that drill that they've learned. But the option with this, unlike a Glock or other similar safe action triggers, if you will, is that the Taurus has a second strike capability. It has a double action pull, and you can just over and over again try to get that round to go off if you wanted to. Maybe it's your last round, right? Nobody ever talks about that. So anyway, it's got a double coil spring on the recoil spring. It is relatively soft shooting for 40 Smith & Wesson. This one has a lot more felt recoil than the 9mm that I have, which is really soft. As far as like, I'm sorry I don't have a range picture to share with you for this one, but it shot really good. We're talking about a group about, I'd say 3 inches at 15 yards, very easy to hold, and it shot right to point of aim. Now, I did notice after the second range trip I had with this, my rear sight did drift over to the right. So the rear sights on these apparently will move on you if you don't keep an eye on them. So what I'm going to do, you can either move it over, put a little blue Loctite in there, and then drift it where you want it, and that should keep it in place. Or what I'll probably do, since I have a staking tool, which makes a little dimple and raises the metal just slightly, I'm going to move that over, hit it with the staking tool, and then drift it back over. That'll increase the friction and keep it in place. So that's what I'm planning to do with it, and assuming that will work just fine. Okay, because it's not in there very tight. I can actually push it if I push really hard with just my fingers. It'll move. So just a kind of a little slick and not enough friction on there to do that. And what else is there? It does shoot with the magazine out, which I like. It does not have a magazine safety. It comes again with 3 10-round magazines. And the magazines, these little puppies, I'll tell you one thing about it is that, man, were they hard, very stiff. And they still are. I mean, you can see I have it loaded, and I've got all 3 of them loaded up, and to push on that spring to try to lighten it up. And it has lightened a little bit since I first got it. But I have a loading unloading tool, Lula, that I use with these, which I don't normally need for the magazines. But I'll tell you, getting that 10th round in there is a real booger. So that's one thing I'll say about it. However, Does not affect the function of the pistol in other than this. If you put this magazine in, okay, it'll click in fine. But if there's nothing in the chamber, if you want to chamber around, it's really hard to get that slide to come back. And a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to get the slide back. I can horse it and make it work. But rather than do that, just make sure that when you load that first round, lock your slide back, the slide lock, right? Put the magazine in, and then pull back in the slide or hit the release. I prefer to always pull back in the slide because it keeps from wearing out the slide release. And then that'll chamber the round slick very easily for you. And of course, if you're shooting, bang, 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 you're in a defensive situation and you got a backup magazine, and you get slide lock, just pop your mag out. By the way, they do just fall right out. Take your other mag, slap it in. Now your magazine's loaded, and then close it, and it'll chamber the next round for you quick. Okay, that makes sense. So, great little pistol. Shot, like I said, shot really well. Some people talk about the how aggressive the grips are, and they are. They're kind of sandpapery, like a 200 grit sandpaper or something like that, maybe a 100 grit. But I like that. It keeps it in my hand while I'm shooting, especially when I'm shooting rapid shots like follow-up shots. And now if I were shooting 300 rounds at a time, or even 200, I usually go and shoot like 100 rounds, maybe 50 to 100 rounds, depending on what I'm doing and if I have other guns with me and stuff like that. And for that kind of shooting that I do, it doesn't cause any problems in my hand at all. But you can tell it does abrade your fingers a little bit when you're shooting. Put it that way. Okay. If you have soft hands, then that might be something you'd want to be aware of. But I personally like it, and I really think they did a great job on the grips, because it's very important to be able to hold on to your defensive firearm if you have to use it. Okay, and like I said, the earlier takedown on this, if I didn't say it, is identical to a Glock. You pull the slide back a little bit, pull down on these little gizmos here, pull the trigger, and then your slide comes off. And as you can see, it's got a double spring guide rod to help recoil. And if I wanted to take it apart, I would just pull that out. The barrel will slide right out, and I'd have access to it. And if you look at it, it looks just like a Glock. Very similar to a Glock, the way it's constructed. Very similar. Almost identical. So, which is probably why the darn thing works so good. Okay. Now, I would say, my experiences at the range, when I took it for the first time I shot it, I did have, within the first 20 rounds, I had 2 failures to feed. And they just got caught on the going in. Okay? It wasn't a failure to extract or anything like that. There's 2 failures to feed. But then after that, then I had no problems since then. And I have shot the practice ammo. These are 180 grain Spear Lawman, which is what I'm using to practice with. And then I have Federal HST 180 grain. That is my defensive carry round. And I've shot that to confirm function, and it shot 100% with that. And it's been 100% for the last 170 rounds, or however many I've shot since I first shot that first 20. 180, whatever. Okay, and so it's good to go. Now my 9mm that I had like this, it was good right out of the box, and I had no problem loading the mags. They were a little stiff, but not like this. This is crazy. I mean, there's going to be people that can't get the 10th round in. Now what you do in that case is, if you're going to carry, you just put the magazine in, close the slide on it, chamber around, pull it out, and put one more in. Now you got 9 in the magazine and 1 in the pipe, which is how I carry. Okay, I don't have 10 in the mag because I don't want that pushing on that. It's just it creates too much friction. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, so that's it. They make these in various colors. Like I said, my 9mm is black and black, but they make the girly colors too, like purple and pink and stuff like that. But they also have the for the guys, they've got like, of course, this color. They've got like a desert tan. They've got OD green and purple. I guess is kind of go either way, right? So anyway, but they do have different things, and they have just the black or the. I think they have Cerakoted versions too for the slide. Some of them. So anyway, and this does not have any like extended larger mags that'll work for it. I don't think, because I don't think there's a 40 Smith & Wesson for just the G3 standard size. Whereas the 9mm in this will accept the G3 standard 15 and 17 round mags. So because they all lock up at the same spot on the magazine with the magazine retention. And I don't remember if this is reversible or not. It might be reversible. The safety is not. It's just for right-handed people. Okay, and that's about it. And I think I already told you, 240, 250. Very easy to find these for. And if you go to like Bud's Gun Shop, that's where I got this one. And watch for the sales. They'll have them for that. Okay. Matter of fact, right now, if you go, they would probably have this for that price. And so anyway, and your local shop as well will have them, and usually for a little bit more, but you don't have to pay shipping, and you don't have to pay transfer fee. So when you put the shipping and the transfer fee, and I think this one actually shipped free. It was a deal, and it did for like $240. It shipped free, so not a bad deal. And that's about it. Okay, so thanks for watching. I appreciate it. As always, please, if you like the vid, go ahead and click the thumbs up and subscribe so you can see when new vids are coming out. And if you have the predilection to do so, please share it out. I appreciate that. It helped me grow my channel a little bit. It's very hard to do, especially on YouTube with the algorithms, as they say. And again, thank you so much, and look for my future vids. Take care.